As a treat? As a treat?
No.
Not even as a treat?
All right, I'll do it as a treat.
As a treat. Thank you.
Let me know when we're ready.
We're ready. We're live. Everyone can hear us talking about it being a treat.
Sorry, I just got my sound just cut out. What did you say?
Everyone heard us talking about it being a treat. We're live.
Okay.
I thought you were doing a bit there, and you were gonna do like when you used
No,
to end the stream on me.
My sound actually cut out.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another bad batch of minutes where we will be talking about another Star Wars book. On today's episode of Tap Half Transmissions, the only Star Wars podcast that I can tell is talking about this novel this week at least. My name is Justin. You can call me Rekka. Joined by my friend Corey. Corey, who's your clone OC?
OC? Are you saying Wrecker is your OC?
Yeah, that's how we started out. No, not OC. Who's your clone stand-in, I guess?
Out of the Bad Batch, or are we talking out of all clones?
Out of the Bad Batch, yeah.
Why are you asking? You know. You fucking...
Is it Echo or Tech?
Well, Echo does have my pallor.
Yeah.
And my arm.
All right, so sorry.
I know it's
ahead,
Tech.
Corey.
You know it's Tech. Everyone knows it's Tech.
Yeah. You even kind of sound like him. All right, but today we're talking Bad Batch Sanctuary, a new novel by, what's the author's name? Is it
Lamar
Giles? Set during season 2. I believe someone said it was like after episode 12 or so. But just for context, if you don't remember where, because like I don't really remember the details, but we're pre-Tech death, but post Pabu. So they're on Pabu. They're recovering from the tsunami, and that's kind of the central premise of the book. It starts off they're on a mission to go try to steal an artifact, basically, which they're going to sell for supplies to rebuild their little island community.
Yeah, and I think part of why this book might resonate with you and why a way that we might be able to explain it for some of our more Canadian listeners is that this book is basically one of the business ideas in the Trailer Park Boys. So yeah. they got to make a few bucks for Pabu for the recovery effort, and they get involved in some hijinks. They become friends with Elliot Page, and they have to escape from Leahy. So there you go.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Before we get into that, though, is there any quick Star Wars news? I know we sometimes do it towards the end, but I don't think there's a whole lot going on right now.
No, not a ton. There was the cast announcements that we kind of talked about last time, I think. It's been over a week since we've done an episode, though. We have, what was it, Matt Smith that got announced as a villain in Starfighter?
Yep. Well, the trades announced it anyway, but there were a lot of ones.
Yeah, so we are seeing a Star Wars movie with a lot of bigger names, which is not usually the way this works for like main characters. At least there are usually big names for like smaller parts or secondary characters, but the main ones are usually small. I guess that's not true for villains, but
that's generally true though. No, I think that's right. So yeah, other than that, there was, I think, the Rebuild the Galaxy. I don't know if that, I think it came out, maybe not. Either way, we got another trailer for that.
Revan's there.
It should be fun. Yeah. I think we got Darth Jar Jar. I can't remember, or no, that comes out. No, yeah, I think has that come out yet? I don't know.
I don't think it started coming out yet, but
yeah, no, it's like September 9th.
Information, everything.
There's just another trailer we got. Yeah, we got another trailer for it, and Mark Hamill's in it, which is funny. Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe they get him to, actually voice an animated show as well.
Yeah, that'd be new for him.
Like where he plays Luke, not in minifigure form.
So what if
They're gonna get
they,
him for a show.
instead of using the AI deepfake version of Luke, where they get a guy who looks kind of like young Mark Hamill and then put Mark Hamill's face over him to make him look like neither of them, should they just get a
Yeah.
different actor, but then have like Mark Hamill do like ADR and replace the voice?
No, they shouldn't even use AI. Just like do
Well, ADR, not
like a
AI. He just talks
yeah.
over it.
Don't no ADR, no AI. Instead, we're going to do like the Scranton Strangler strategy and just cut up pieces of audio.
Oh, okay.
Like instead of like a letter with like all the different you know, we're gonna do that with audio. So
No, I like
but
that. I like that.
only him playing other characters though. So like
The
the
Joker.
little alien that says "Win the war." Every the he says is gonna be that one.
I would pay a lot of money for an NJO live action series where all of Luke's dialogue is just clips of the Joker from Mark Hamill's time in Batman. That'd be.
I'd enjoy that. Yeah.
We must destroy the Yuuzhan Vong.
Someone finally talked to the boys like they needed. Get the Jedi straight.
Now this is a Luke I can get behind. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't think there's much other major news yet. Still waiting on more Zero Company news for my big resurgence when I'm going to make it to the big
It's
time.
such a slow summer. Like it really has.
Yeah, I mean, what shows are coming out in the rest of the year? There's Visions Volume 3, right? That's coming this fall.
Yeah.
And beyond that, like, there's nothing else this year, is there?
Nope. It's gonna be a rough one. Time to start collecting bottles.
Looking for jobs.
Time to start breaking into churches and stealing the copper wires.
Do you need to go to churches to get the copper wires? Are they a bit more universal?
The churches are just old and that is what people do here. They break into churches and steal copper wires.
Well, that's just because they're all abandoned,
old.
right? They're like trying to sell
No,
them as
they're
vacation
not.
homes?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. There's always like, oh, local community lost its church because someone fucking yanked the copper out of the walls.
You need to see it. All right. Well, speaking of
I don't
people
need to
who
see it. I don't
yank
go to
the
church.
copper out of church walls, we have Fee Genoa taking the Bad Batch on another adventure, trying to hook up with Tech. We get a
I
little
like that.
a little steamy pinky on pinky action and elbow on elbow action from them in this book. So we're
Yep.
seeing their relationship develop a bit, but the core plot of the book, they're on this mission trying to get money for Pabu to recover. They're basically going to an auction, trying to skim a bunch of credits and then buy a Karidan religious artifact. And so they get mixed up with this kind of person who thinks they're a god, a good friend of Sheev Palpatine who likes to name drop them all the time, runs a lot of real estate development. Basically, Palpatine's in bed with big real estate.
Is her name? Yeah, I loved her. I thought the villains in this book were awesome.
Yeah.
Actually. So she's one of the big villains, Celia Moten, and she is like absolutely insane. Like she's a pretty dark character. She like the first scene we get, she's killing someone like execution style, and yeah, I think she's meant to be kind of just like a representation of like the kind of people that are starting to get a foothold within the Empire.
I think she's also
Where
supposed
she's
to be
like-
Donald Trump,
Yeah,
a real
she
estate
might be.
mogul who thinks they're a god and has political ambitions. That's basically what they're going for here, I think.
Yeah, I could see it. And then the other big one is the other big villain is Central Crane, who is he's not. I want to say he's more nuanced, but he's also objectively evil. He is when we meet him, he's an ISB agent, and he's like a very. At first, when you meet him, it seems like he's abusing his power, and he is. But he just has a very strict code.
It seems like he's abusing his power, and he is
because he is. But it seems like he's abusing it just to be a dick, which I don't really think is the case. I think he has a very strict code that he lives by and that he wants everyone else to live by. But we kind of learned that he's an ISB agent now, but really he's more of just like a man with skills who goes wherever the work takes him. So he's an ISB agent now. He previously worked as an agent for the Separatists, and he kind of implies that he's had other positions before that. And we learned that he also has. It wasn't clear to me. I don't think they're his biological children,
No,
but
they're not.
Yeah, because what's her name's a different species, but he
That's the
has
first
several what he calls children, and he raises them basically in the middle of a desert. It's on Batu, of course, which I just hate. I don't know. I'm like, oh, they're on the Disney World planet, but he's basically like training. He's basically has them out in like an enclave where he's teaching them to be spies mostly and special agents, and he's very harsh. But he's a more complex character because unlike Moten, who it just is like objectively evil in it for herself, he seems to think he's doing the right thing in preparing them for the galaxy.
Yeah, I don't know how much he thinks. I don't know how much he's doing this stuff because he thinks he's doing the right thing. Like he's out for power for himself and like trying to turn these kids into the perfect agent to serve his aims, which largely just seems to be kind of carving out this power space for himself. Because his whole thing is that he raises them to be essentially spies of various types. So in the Clone Wars, he trained Sohee up, and Sohee becomes a spy for the Separatists, ends up working for a Republic senator, passing information back, and this becomes a big point of contention between her and the Bad Batch. But Sohee gets out of that when Ponder, who is her husband, I guess, or romantic life partner in this book.
They are married.
Yeah. So he had his...
Remember records, like tell me what the cake.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, he had his leg blown off on a mission with some clones, and there was a senator that was trying to do some legislation to give clones some rights, get like a VA bill going for the injured clones. So Ponder became involved in this kind of situation, went and spoke to the Senate. The Senate kind of gave up on the bill, but Sohee was kind of touched by what had happened, or like seeing the impact that the war was having on the clones, and kind of gave up her role as a Separatist spy. They hooked up, and now they're having a baby. And the Bad Batch has to rescue them.
Yeah, so the sort of central premise, as we mentioned, is that the Bad Batch are trying to raise money for Pabu. We don't actually go to Pabu at all in the novel, which I was a little disappointed because I actually really like that planet. But there wasn't really time. But the casino heist fails. They do end up stealing a valuable item, but along the way, they also get another plan, or they also have to get another job, which they think is just to move these people from planet. They're just basically being a taxi service. It turns out that at first the two what's her name again?
Sohee.
The Ponder and Sohee. They just say that they're on the run because they're basically the Empire is targeting them for political reasons. It turns out that they were actually connected with a heist, and that they're being tracked by the ISB as well. So they get they get the Bad Batch tangled up in this greater conflict, and there's kind of one of the major through lines is that Hunter really doesn't trust them because they've lied to him multiple times. She is pregnant, that is true, but he really doesn't trust her, and kind of a lot of the book is him not only overcoming that lack of trust, but also trying to figure out how to be a leader without just being a dictator, because a lot of this book is he's so used to running things as they did in the Clone Wars, where he is the leader, he can give orders, but they're not living that life anymore. So, it's by consensus now. You can't just, especially where it's their whole life. Like, it's not just how are they going to do one battle. It's where are they going to live? Where are they going to work? What jobs are they going to take on? So I thought that was an interesting through line as well.
Yeah, it was kind of impressive that she was able to hide that she was pregnant at first, because she was apparently within days of giving birth, and no one could really tell.
Well, they realized when they saw her the first time.
Yeah.
When she's in the cantina, but
yeah. So the clone trooper is pretending to have, like, Ponder. You only find out about halfway through the bookish that Ponder is a clone trooper. That's a fairly big revelation for them, that he's one of their brothers, technically, that is canoodling with this former separatist spy who got so many of them killed. But
and that they can even have children at all.
Yeah, they were unsure about that. But
because Cut's kids are adopted.
Yeah, Cut's kids are adopted, and I got a lot of flack for saying they were mixed human and Twi'lek kids in my video, because Cut adopted them, but their father is still human, even if it's not Cut biologically. So don't leave that comment on that old video. Please don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah, I forgot Cut was in the Bad Batch too. I think it was season 1, maybe.
Yeah, because there was still when Hunter was trying to pawn off Omega before.
Yeah,
it was one of the first episodes.
Yeah, right when they leave Camino, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be so many little clone kids running around. At least in Legends, it's all concentrated in one forest on Mandalore or something, where everyone just looks like Jango. But
yeah, I mean, why not?
I wonder if there's an app for
them.
The
war, they're horny.
Like, that thing in, I think it's Iceland. Yeah, it's got to be Iceland, where there's the dating apps, like, will tell you if you're cousins or not.
Oh, yeah.
The clones need that as well.
Yeah.
Because there's billions of them. Well, millions.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask.
What's a unit mean?
Yeah, is it 1 clone or 100 clones?
So they do the heist. I thought the heist was a lot of fun, even though it completely fails. I think I will say right off the bat, I really enjoyed this book, which is surprising because on its face, it has all of the same issues that the Acolyte book that we last read had, even more so, where we know what is going on with the Bad Batch before going into this book, what's going on with them after. We know that almost nothing can happen, but I really enjoyed this story a lot. And I think the strength of it was honestly just how much or how well the characterization of the Bad Batch was nailed. Like, it really did feel like I listened to the book as well, an audiobook, and I'll give a shout out to Mark Thompson. He does a great job. He does all the voices, even Omega's, and he does an amazing job. His Fee voice was not great, but actually it wasn't that bad. But it to me, this felt like it could have been, right out of the show. So I was really impressed by that. And I liked too how the characters even got a little more like development and characterization than even in the show sometimes. Like, we see a softer side of Wrecker. Wrecker in the show is often, because it is a show for kids, and like I've got 3 kids, and I know, like, August, for example, he loves shows where there's like big strong guy and like easy to understand characters. Yeah. So Wrecker sometimes does get simplified into big strong oaf. Tech is, autistic tech guy. Hunter is Hunter, and in this book we see like different like Tech is very emotionally intelligent. Wrecker has a few very soft moments, and Hunter is like very insecure. He has a dream about Crosshair at the end that I really liked. And yeah, I just thought the book handled that and their interactions really well. The only character who didn't get the time I thought was Omega, which I didn't really have a problem with because she's the show. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, how much I think the comparison with Wayseeker is good because I talked about this in a video where they're both the same kind of Star Wars novel in a way that a lot of Star Wars novels in this period, or in periods that are usually dominated by visual media, tend to be, where they're more and more relegated to these side stories. You have the High Republic and stuff
Yeah.
like that, where they can tell more of their own story, and there were older books like Bloodlines, Lost Stars, Alphabet Squadron that could do more in telling a new story. But
Yeah.
between Sanctuary, Wayseeker, and even Mask of Fear, there's a lot that's just
Yeah.
kind of filling in gaps we know these characters and shows had. Uh,
Yeah.
but as far as how much you like this compared to Wayseeker, how much do you think has to do with how the book handled the characters being different and more appropriate versus just liking the Bad Batch more and liking those characters more already?
Yeah, I was really trying to figure that out as I was reading it. I was like, man, the I'm proving all of my haters right. Where I complained all about this last week or a couple weeks ago with the Acolyte book, and now it's the same thing. I do genuinely think this book is a lot better written. Like the villains, I think, are just so much more compelling. Um, yeah, I will say the Bad Batch are better. Are characters I enjoy more. I like their camaraderie a lot, but I don't know. I do think it's a bit of both. I think the
Okay.
book was just better written overall. Like there was, yeah, I thought this was one of the best written, even though there wasn't a lot to work with, like in terms of what he could do. I thought this was one of the best written Star Wars books I've read in a while. Like in terms of characters, but also prose. The humor was a bit more limited, but there were only a few. Listen, Star Wars books are Star Wars books. There were only a few times in this one where I was like, okay, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you to an extent, but like there was a lot, especially in the first, maybe even three quarters of the book, definitely first half, where I was reading it and it felt like an episode of The Bad Batch, which is like what the
Mhm.
show or what the book is going for, and it does a great job at that. But it also feels like
Yeah,
an episode of The Bad Batch in that like it feels like a junior reader novel in a lot of ways. And just kind of the
yeah,
way that some of the characters talk and some of the ways that the story gets structured, some of the exposition, and I think that holds it back a little bit for me, even compared to Wayseeker. Like
Mm.
I think I liked it more than Wayseeker overall, but I don't think it was like two sides of a coin. At least for me, I don't think it's two sides of a coin where I thought like this was doing something that Wayseeker did, but so much better. Where I already liked Wayseeker a lot more than you. Well,
yeah,
not necessarily based on our. Oh no, that yes, based on our score. No, not based on our score because we gave it the same score. But
yeah.
uh,
For me,
yeah,
I agree that there was a weird juxtaposition where the action scenes, for example, were largely written like a Bad Batch book
yeah.
or a Bad Batch show, where like they're silly, the crazy car chases. Then you've got like the more serious moments. Like you'd never see the kind of, I don't think, physical and mental abuse that we see in the book probably uh, in the
Mhm.
show. But there's also moments like I was just laughing. Like the child is born, and like they go out and look for formula.
Yeah.
Like you can breastfeed a child. You can't breastfeed a child in a Bad Batch TV show, and I guess you can't in a book either. Um, but I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And also they're like, yeah, we're gonna make formula. We'll put berries in it. Like, dog, no, you don't feed a 3-day-old child berries. And yeah,
Yeah, that's not safe.
all
Tech
right,
should know better.
yeah. But yeah, you're right. It was it definitely did have a young reader element to it, I suppose. But I guess for me, maybe the what Wayseeker may have wanted to be an elevated kind of maturity didn't end up coming through for me, I guess.
No, I can see that, but I mean, part of what makes me say that is I was asked by someone like halfway through reading it, uh, whether or not it was good. Like I mentioned that I was reading it, and I was asked if it was good and if they should read it. And like I thought it was good, but I was also talking to an adult, and more so than I would have felt with Wayseeker, I felt like I needed to add the caveat of like it's good, but it also feels more directed towards children or younger audiences compared to
I didn't really.
Wayseeker.
Yeah, I don't know if I felt like it really appealed to a younger audience than Wayseeker. Honestly, like
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like the it's weird because I do feel like it had a lighter tone in the action, but like I don't think anything about the book was more like like they're both. I guess they're both very accessible books to me. Is like what I would say. Like
Okay.
I don't think I would recommend either of the books to an adult reader who
Yeah.
wasn't a fan of the Bad Batch or the High Republic.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe, yeah, I guess maybe the fact that the Bad Batch is a kid's show. Um, yeah.
Yeah, like, it definitely goes to darker places tonally, especially later. And like the backstory is darker, but it's not darker in a way that like kid shows never touch, right? Like
Oh,
Omega
that's
is
fair.
captured and tortured and experimented on and everything. Where this has more upfront, like, oh, I was like just beaten and I had to they basically they bring up the whole like in Sacrifice, which is the last episode we did, there was I think at least I think it's in Sacrifice. There's the mention of like uh the lost tribe or the one tribe that has like raises animals and then shoots them in like reference to I think the
Yeah.
SS.
Yeah.
And we kind of get that here where one of Zoe's flashbacks is when she's being trained by Father Crane. They have traps out for these animals. Normally they let it go, but she's told on this occasion by Father Crane uh, that she has to shoot it, like she has to kill it, or she has to stab it to death. I think, and is what ultimately happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's playing off of the same thing there, which is definitely like it's definitely dark, but it's not necessarily the content or the subject matter that I'm saying is what makes it feel like it's for younger readers. It's the way some of it's written towards the start and like the we all thought this and it was this and this said Omega, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true. I guess especially like it was weird in that it almost to me felt at times like they were turning Bad Batch the show on,
Yeah.
like for dialogue, for some of the dialogue, especially like like Fee and Tech. It's always pretty simple that she's teasing him and he's likes it, but
Mhm.
he can't quite say it. That is very
Yeah.
kid show
It,
like.
it was nice that they were able to explore that with the characters and find something that feels consistent with the characters, but adds another layer that the show can't. Like, because you can see in the
Yeah,
show that Tech is aware of what's going on, but we're not inside his head to know how he feels about it. Where here we
yeah,
can kind of see him awkwardly trying to play into it and like is fully aware of what's going on and is just not
does like
sure
it.
where he wants to go with it. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He's not really emotionally ready for that.
yeah. Like I think the book
I
does
think
handle
he's
all
got
the
a long
characters
life to
really
figure
well.
it out.
Yeah. Well, they haven't made any gloves out of any Kaminoans to show that they are no longer accelerating in their aging. So
Yeah,
they get
I,
old fast.
well, except Omega, I guess. She ages normally, right?
Yeah, Omega's like Boba,
I
doesn't
mean,
age
even
fast.
still, Tech's got how many months does he have after this? Not long,
Not
right?
one.
Yeah, yeah, because he's a few episodes away from the season finale.
Yep.
So
But they find his GOG. He's out there. The tech is out there.
I think you're right. The more I think about it, I think it is a very kid friendly or young reader book.
Yeah.
And I think I like the Bad Batch for the same reason I like Star Wars Rebels,
Yeah.
where it is very simple. It's just the characters are so lovable
Hmm.
and the execution and the like sense of, it's the same thing with Rebels, where it's a group, and it's about the group dynamics, and the characters are simple, and they, like Ezra goes through some shit, but he he handles it like you'd expect a protagonist of a show for kids to handle it. But I do like, it's strong. I don't know if it's despite of that or because of that, where like, you know the Bad Batch even more. They're very simple characters, but they end up being kind of lovable when it all comes together, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. It's not a criticism of it. It's just
No, no, no. I know.
uh, like it might be what would stop me from putting it in like A or S tier instead of B or something. But it's not, because it's not like an all timer in that way for me. But like it is really good at what it does, and what it does
Yeah.
is kind of recreate the feeling of the Bad Batch, add to those characters in a way that both makes sense, and I think like we were kind of talking about, you were kind of saying this earlier, but and it does fit into what you're saying with the Wayseeker, of where it is able to add to these characters while still not doing something that, like, it's not in a place where it can fundamentally change anything that happens to them, but it still feels worthwhile to read if you like these characters because of how it handles them.
Yeah, this is definitely not a book for people who don't like the show. If you don't like the
Yeah,
show, this is not going to change your mind.
yeah, for sure.
I just like think about Dark Disciple. Like I'm just kind of considering that, because it's another book where it's like, straight out of a show as source material, and I end up liking this one a lot more,
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think.
I mean, it does. I think what it does better, even as someone again who liked Wayseeker, what it does capture the feel of the show it is a tie-in to so well. Like I can read, especially the first 100 when they're on that initial mission. Like you can read this and you can think like, I could see this being an episode of the Bad Batch. Like this
Yeah.
is a cut script from the Bad Batch, and
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about.
everything flows and everything feels right. The characters all feel right. This is the kind of mission that Fee would send them on. They've got like this neat angle of slicing the credits out. They've like, everyone's got their own little role. You get the A-team scene at the end where they love it when a plan comes together, except it always fell apart instead. And
Yeah.
yeah, like it is very Bad Batch, and as someone who liked the Bad Batch, I like that.
The thing that bothered me is at one point, Ponder described as having a massive rifle, and it's a DC-17M, which is like the rifle the commandos use. It's not. It's described like a minigun. I don't know. That was a
Well,
mistake there.
the is the M the one that like Scorch would have, the missile
I think
attachment,
so.
or is it just
I
the M is
think
the
the M is just
interchangeable,
yeah,
and Wreckers is just bigger?
yeah, yeah. He
Okay,
is.
yeah, M is just the overall name for the, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he
I
just
just thought
got
that was funny.
the big attachment on it because he's Wrecker.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, I like the planets too. I thought they were fun. The one that's like raining Mercury was cool. Um, I really liked the villains. I thought were fun. I didn't know. It ends with another Darth Vader scene, which I didn't need.
Yeah.
I like it. Didn't really. I didn't. I guess I didn't dislike it, but it was like, if there was one change I'd make, I think I would have just had the Star Destroyer just blaster. I think would have been
Well, it makes
perfectly
sense that you'd
acceptable.
have someone go and get the information that, like, so basically Central Crane, that's his name, right? Central?
Yep.
Not it's
Or it's something like that. It's
Crane. Yeah, Central Crane. I mean,
yeah.
one thing that I wish had been different was his name, because we don't need two shows where you have ISB agent Central Crane and ISB informant Cyril Karn. It's too many
Yeah.
similar names there. But
Yeah.
yeah, so Central Crane is an ISB agent who ends up He's tracking down. He's mostly trying to track down Sohee because Sohee's his daughter and wants her in the ISB. But he ends up mixed up in what Moten's doing. So he ends up kind of working for her while also investigating her because she's got these groves of trees where she's buried all the people she's killed. But she's also, because she's involved in all this construction, she's got all these construction businesses. She's able to figure out that the Emperor is building something. So she kind of figures out the Death Star is going on, which is why the book ends with her her getting Darth Vadered. Because Vader has to go in and find out what she knows, because she had talked to Crane about, oh, the Empire is building something. The Emperor is building something secret. And so Vader has to come and figure out, what made you think this? Who did you tell this to? Who do we have to kill? And I guess on the HoloNet news, there's also a bunch of the holdings of these construction companies she's associated with that get raided.
Yeah.
Not very subtle.
No. Yeah, it was. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it was funny. She's always like, "Oh, I know Sheev."
Yes.
The voice in the audiobook was he did very good old woman voice. But it is funny how Crane is like this domineering, not even domineering. He's just this. He just has his way, and he makes it happen. And then she kind of just social pressures him into basically becoming a prisoner at her giant compound she has. And she's also, yeah, she sees herself kind of as an elevated being, and she's collecting all these artifacts, and she kills people at will, and she has aspirations to be, I think, a governor.
Yeah, she wants to be governor of the sector, and that's every time that something happens, like, oh, if she's talking to a Star Destroyer captain, oh, patch me through to Sheev, will you? I'll contact Master Meta on Monday, and he'll get me right through to Sheevy. When I worked for the census, there were people who would call in and be like, I want to speak to Justin Trudeau. Like, I can't do that for you.
I don't know him, actually, believe it or not.
He's not here right now. Can I take a message?
Was that a Katy Perry concert?
Yeah.
So sorry.
Well, this was almost 10 years ago now, which is disgusting, but
yeah, that's crazy. Not ideal.
Well, I'm glad I haven't had any impact working anywhere else in that 10 years, but yes.
In the audiobook, the first guy that she kills, we get like his point of view when he's being brought up to slaughter, and they give him like a very strong Irish accent, which was funny.
It seems to me that, like, killing an ISB agent, you'd probably do a bit more work to figure out if they had a tracker on them, because part of the way that Crane finds out what's going on is he's following this lead of a former ISB agent who has gone missing, and there's also like a tracking beacon in his shallow grave on Moten's property. So there's some...
She kind of wanted that to happen, though, I guess.
Well, you want to collect more corpses, but
yeah.
Or was that how Fee figured out the tracker? I forget whether the tracker was on the ISB agent or on the other pirate.
No, she figured it out because he had like a bracelet.
Right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we do end the book with Crane gets tossed by Sohee into some mercury, and
after being shot,
Golems himself to death. Yeah. And Moten gets Darth Vader. Like, basically, it's the Rogue One thing where Vader comes in, kills her bodyguards. She asks for a tea, like Bail does on Tantive 4, or I guess Leia does on Tantive 4. And then he gets up to the captain's chamber, like, now you will die, and you will not even know the name Darth Vader. And then she dies.
Yeah. Yeah, she had a tough go. I mean, she deserved it. She was evil. Yep. Nasty woman.
She was evil and rich, which is redundant.
Kind of racist seeming as well. talking about like all the savages. She takes their idols and stuff.
Mm. Yeah,
Most British Star Wars
she's
character.
she collects religious figures because she sees herself as a god. Like, oh, look at what all these other people worship instead of worshiping me, the real god, and she just wants them all collected.
Yeah. Creedon, isn't it a is it a mortar?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like Karita, yeah, get that before it's blown up.
doesn't happen in like Kip might not do it this time. How like
Yeah,
Karita I know has
I
come up
think Karita's
before,
been
but
I think Karita's been mentioned in the first, like in the sequel era. Maybe
yeah, like
not,
it's in
but
the Clone Wars, but
yeah. Yeah.
Squadrons. Oh no! So the latest appearances are Squadrons and Galactic Star Cruiser appears on map.
Still
So
time to mess it up.
yeah, someone could still blow it.
Resonance Torpedo, the star.
Yep, we should be so lucky.
Love to see it.
Right. Well, any what other any other plot points or character stuff you want to make sure we go over?
Yeah, I just really liked. I just want to say again, if you like the Bad Batch, you'll enjoy this book. I really liked seeing. Say most of the book is from Hunter's perspective, and he might be one of the more interesting characters in the Bad Batch. You know, he's dealing with losing that command, and
Mm-hmm.
also he's just scared that he's scared that that his little family is going to come apart. And I will say one thing about this book is it is a very cozy read,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you know everyone is going to be fine. It's like it's very cheesy in a nice way because they're all, you know, they always talk about how they're family and they never play it up for like laughs or like anything like that. They're just, you know, it's very cozy in that
Yeah.
way. So yeah, it's just it's an adventure with a group of characters that if you like the show, you probably like them. Get to see more of Hunter. They're still dealing with Crosshair and his stuff. So I hope we get another one. I'd love to see another one from this author. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, especially if we can do maybe something after season 3, because I feel like the characters are kind of fair game at this point. Like I don't think they're going to be picked up by anything else, and if they like, I don't feel like an adventure of them doing something for Pabo would undermine the ending of the show and their like retirement.
Those some pretty big adventures, honestly.
Yeah. But I do think so. A big theme in the book for all the characters is kind of their self determination, what they want their lives to be. Like,
Yeah.
Sohee and Ponder are the ones that really make that choice, and you get a lot of talking about that from the Bad Batch's perspective, or allusions to it. But because this is like a tie-in, and we kind of know where they end up, I don't think it goes super deep into it for those characters. Certainly not Omega, who you kind of get 2 lines about, like she just wants adventure. But like I think the biggest leap for any of the characters is Tech going slightly further in like elbow flirting with Fee, and Hunter getting a little bit more towards accepting that like he's not just the guy in charge. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed the book. I would also enjoy some more. Where's this falling on your rankings though, Justin?
This might shock you, but this was an A for me. I really like this one.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Okay. I also really enjoyed it, but no, I don't think it's quite to the same extent you did. Like again, thought it was really good, but I am probably putting this one at a B. Just because like I feel like a lot of the with S's, I feel like I could just recommend it to people, and I think it's really good, and I will revisit it. Like I'll think about revisiting it as soon as I'm done. With A's, I'd have to feel like I can tell any Star Wars fan this is something you should probably read, and I feel like if this was just how well did you execute a Bad Batch book, it's an S. But as far as like where does this necessarily fall as just in my own rankings or as a Star Wars book, I think B is where I'm landing for it.
And that's a good point. Like you definitely can, again, you can't. There are people who love Star Wars who will not like this book, even big canon fans. For me, the biggest thing that pushed me towards an A is I was in the last couple chapters. And I was like, I really wish there was another 50 to 100 pages. I wanted more. I really wanted more about the new characters as well. But yeah,
Yeah, makes sense.
overall, good stuff. So I think I'm going to be gone Thursday, but we should be back, I imagine, next week, and then it should be mostly normal sailing until September when I'm going away for a few days. Can't remember if it's on a Thursday or not, but um, yeah. So
It
do we know?
is not, but it's yeah.
Well, yeah. Do we know what we're gonna do next week? Are we gonna do another Legacy of the Force?
We'll talk to Ilkin and see if we are. Otherwise, like I should be able to read a book. Like I don't know. There's got to
Yeah,
be.
I'll bring my. I'm going to PEI. I'll bring a book with me.
Okay, we'll ask Ilkin tonight and we'll figure it out. But there will be, so yeah, no episode on the 21st. There will be an episode on the 28th.
Yep. Damn, summer's almost done. Sad, man.
Away she goes.
We got our first rain of August last night. Only 12 wildfires under control.
If we don't do the next Legacy of the Force book, the final High Republic book, or something else?
I don't want to read a High Republic book on vacation.
We'll find. I think maybe we'll find something a bit shorter because then we'll do like Legacy of the Force the week after.
We could look at one of the Essential Legends collections books that we haven't covered.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
One of the new
we'll
releases.
Talk about it tonight. And we'll figure it out. But yeah. All right.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.